Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Sam the Car Doctor. Today we'll be learning about Hybrid's operation and functionality through the Hybrid Test Drive Lab I have created today. I hope you enjoy the show and thank you for coming. Alright, today we're going to be talking about my 480 final project. We're doing a Hybrid Test Drive Lab. The objective of this lab is to test drive a two-motor hybrid from our fleet. While performing this test drive, you will be filling out a lab sheet that guides you through the lab itself, and it takes you through the different modes that a two-motor hybrid can be in. Safety is always a primary concern when we're doing these labs, so always make sure to follow all procedures of the lab so that you do remain safe. The materials you will need for this lab include the lab packet with a map route, obviously. You'll need a pencil to fill out the lab packet. A hybrid vehicle, right here is a picture of a 2004 Toyota Prius that would be desired to use, but if there's other two motors that we have in our fleet, you're more than welcome to use them. And then on top of that, you'll need a scan tool. We've got multiple models in our shop, but this is just the first one I found and took a picture of. It needs to be able to read live data, and you need to be able to interpret the information from that scan tool. Looking here, this is our map and route. So we're starting up over here in lot 50 of the automotive building, coming down South Warren / Campus Drive. It converts about halfway through, so it's the same road. You'll follow this path here. Right about here is Art Science stop sign, which will be a significant point in the lab. And then you'll continue around to here, where you're hitting the base out in front of Flight, which is also another significant point in the lab, which you'll find in the lab packet. Follow the hill up here, turn around at the little roundabout here at the Timmy Center, so that you can then go back down the same path, back over to lot 50, where you will end your lab. The procedure, students will follow the route shown on the previous slide, obviously. While doing so, they will follow the lab instructions, which guide them to experiencing all the different modes of the hybrid vehicle is capable of operating in. The lab also makes the student observe the live data from the vehicle, where they can see the motors operating, understand like state of charge of the hybrid battery, maybe temperatures and stuff like that. Also recognize when the internal combustion engine engages as well. And for that, you will be recording live PID data on that, and you will be observing that throughout the lab as per instructed by the lab packet. The purpose of this lab, like it says here, while we can listen and conceptualize hybrid functions all day long, up until the point where we're actually getting the chance to sit in the cockpit and experience these modes while we're driving or riding along and seeing this live data on the hybrid systems, we really can't get a full grasp and understand of what a hybrid is actually doing. A lot of us are car guys, gearheads, and we learn best through exposure, knowledge, and just real-time experience. So it's hard for us to sit down and try and conceptualize this when, hybrids are quite a feat in comparison to the simple internal combustion engine that all of us are very accustomed to. This also gives a good first exposure to a propulsion system most students don't have access to. Most of us college students are driving older cars. We don't have these hybrids and these newer technologies, which this then allows us to get this experience and understand the system better. This also helps understand the motors and the internal combustion engine functions in operating conditions, which can then in turn lead to better diagnosis in future projects or problems that arise while working in industry or even in a shop or even at your home. The conclusion to this, the lab has a series of questions throughout and at the end to ensure retention of content throughout the lab. The instructor will have a key for this lab packet so that they can use to verify students' completion and knowledge of the lab. This lab, although it may be simple in concept, could be a very useful tool and helpful mechanism for students to better understand the hybrid system. This gives them a upfront exposure experience to it and allows them to run and operate it on their own so they can get this true real-life experience. Thank you for coming to my talk today. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope to see you next time. Take care.